Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fear Files. Tonight, we are traveling deep into the Appalachian Trail, one of the most mysterious and dangerous stretches of wilderness in all of North America. For centuries, hikers, hunters, and travelers have whispered about strange lights, ghostly figures, unexplained disappearances, and ancient curses tied to these mountains. Some of these stories come from old folklore, others from modern-day encounters, but all of them share one terrifying theme. Once the Appalachian wilderness decides to claim you, there may be no escape. So sit back, dim the lights, and join me as we uncover 9 bone-chilling Appalachian Trail horror stories that will haunt your mind long after this video ends.
Story 1. The Vanishing Campfire. It was late October when a group of hikers set up camp just outside the Smoky Mountains section of the Appalachian Trail. The night was cold, but the fire kept them warm. Around midnight, one of the hikers woke to see another campfire glowing faintly in the distance, just beyond the tree line. Curious, he nudged his friend awake. They watched together as faint human silhouettes moved around the distant flames, their voices carrying through the woods. But when the two hikers decided to investigate, they discovered nothing. No campfire, no people. Just an empty clearing, damp and cold, as though no one had been there for weeks. When they returned to their own site, their fire was gone too, reduced to nothing but wet ashes, though they had left it burning strong just minutes before.
Story 2. The Phantom Lights. An Appalachian mountain ridge at night, with strange glowing orbs floating between the trees. The forest below is swallowed in darkness, while the lights hover unnaturally still. A terrified camper peeks out from their tent, eyes wide in fear as the glowing lights drift closer through the foggy woods. Shadows dance on the canvas of the tent, adding to the tension. The lights vanish suddenly, leaving the camper alone in complete darkness. Only the faint glow of dying embers from a campfire remains, surrounded by endless forest. Story 3. The Appalachian Witch. Deep in West Virginia, there are whispers of an old woman who practiced dark magic in the woods near the trail. Locals called her the Appalachian Witch. Her cabin burned down long ago, but many hikers say the ruins remain cursed. Some who stumble onto the site report overwhelming dread. Others describe hearing a woman's laughter carried on the wind, even when they are completely alone. One story tells of a hiker who woke to find strange symbols carved into the dirt around his tent. He fled at sunrise and never returned.
Story 4. The Whistling in the Woods. 1. 2 hikers walking at dusk through a dense Appalachian forest. One of them pauses, looking unsettled, as faint whistling echoes between the trees. The forest looks endless, shadows stretching unnaturally. A dark forest at night. The hiker's flashlight beams catch glimpses of twisted branches, while the eerie sound of whistling seems to come from nowhere. The flashlight drops to the ground, glowing upward. Beyond its beam, a vague humanoid silhouette watches from the trees. Story 5. The Disappearing Town. A group of travelers stumble across an old, forgotten Appalachian village hidden deep in the woods.
Wooden cabins are half collapsed, overgrown with moss, but lanterns glow faintly in the windows. One traveler peeks inside a cabin window. Instead of emptiness, they see a family sitting silently around a wooden table, unmoving, pale faces staring blankly. The next morning, the travelers return to the spot, only to find the forest empty. No cabins remain, only dense wilderness, as if the village never existed.
Story 6. The Black Dog of the Trail. For centuries, tales of a large black dog have haunted the Appalachian Trail. Descriptions vary. Some say it's a wolf, others a hound with glowing red eyes. But every story ends the same way. Seeing the dog means death is near. The hiker runs down the trail in terror. Behind him, the dog follows silently, its glowing eyes cutting through the darkness. One park ranger swore he saw the creature pacing him for hours one night, always just at the edge of his flashlight's beam. Days later, a hiker was found dead, not far from where the sighting occurred. The trail lies empty again, only paw prints fading into the mist. The forest looks unnaturally calm, as if nothing had happened. The ranger quit his job shortly after and has never spoken publicly about the experience again. Story 7. The Curse of the Burial Ground. Deep in the forest, hikers discover a circle of ancient stone markers, partially buried in moss. The place feels sacred and forbidden, with birds silent overhead. Night falls. The hikers' camp is disturbed as shadowy figures rise from the earth around the stone markers, faintly glowing in the moonlight. By morning, only one hiker remains, sitting in shock beside the stones. The forest feels heavy, as though it has claimed the others. Story 8. The Screaming Wind. A mountain ridge at night, wind tearing through the trees. The sound carries an unnatural screaming that echoes across the valley. The sky glows faintly with lightning in the distance. A group of campers clutch their ears as the screaming wind grows louder, bending trees unnaturally. Their campfire flickers wildly in the gale. The wind stops suddenly. The forest is still, but the campers find claw marks etched deeply into the ground where they sit. Story 9. The Watcher in the Woods. A hiker feels watched as he walks through a dense Appalachian trail at twilight. Unseen eyes seem to follow his every step. Shadows between the trees seem alive. At night, the hiker sees glowing white eyes peering at him from the tree line, always distant but never leaving. His lantern light barely cuts the darkness. The hiker's lantern lies broken on the ground. In the background, a tall, shadowy figure stands among the trees, unmoving, watching. The Appalachian Trail stretches for over 2,000 miles, cutting through forests, valleys, and mountains that have seen centuries of tragedy, folklore, and mystery. For every story we've told tonight, there are dozens more whispered around campfires, tales of strange creatures, vanishing travelers, and spirits that refuse to rest. So the next time you find yourself hiking those ancient woods, remember this: not every sound has a source, not every light leads to safety, and not every trail takes you back home. If you enjoyed these chilling tales, make sure to subscribe to Fear Files Explained and hit the notification bell so you never miss when the darkness calls. Until next time, stay safe, and never wander the Appalachian Trail alone.